Good morning. So, last time I had tried to replace the CSV with a brand new file, and after doing so, this was about a week and a half ago, I was going back through mentally my workflow for building schedules, and I realized that there's a chance I'm being a bit of an idiot. Common, it happens, but when I went through my workflow and was making the video to show you kind of how I went through Excel, the final step was to convert it or concatenate all the different columns into an actual comma-separated value that I could then copy over into the game file, because for some reason Excel messed with the CSV and it wouldn't work properly. So that's what I'm going to try this time. The other thing to note here is that the first update for the game itself has come out, and there have been 2 airport releases since then. So you do need to upgrade World Color. We're on version, I'm sorry, it's version 2.1 at this point. So I've just installed that, which I'll show you real quick. Loading the schedule. This is back to the default. I did not restore it from a backup, and I'm actually going to leave it alone this time. So I've got it open in Notepad here, and this is also why I don't like editing in Notepad, because it's really ugly. But it can be a bit of a headache to go through and CSV everything. But what I'm going to do is just again show you kind of my workflow here. So I'm going to use Excel. I believe we were working on 7 p.m. Was it 7 p.m., 7 a.m., one of those time frames. I'll just pick one, it doesn't really matter. Let's use 4 p.m. right here. So this is going to be the time frame I want to work with. Now I'm not going to go crazy. These are my arrivals. So I'm just going to modify this a little bit. This is their approach time. I think I moved these in the wrong order, but that's okay. We just want to prove that the system will work. I'm going to move that down, and then let's just grab something, a couple of these from earlier. I grabbed 3, so that'll be fine. I'm going to make you 1601, 1602, and 1605. Okay, so that should get us rolling. That's 3 extra arrivals. Because the other ones came in at 11, I don't know if there will be a major conflict or problem if I don't use a different name or different scheme on any of these. So I'm just going to modify a few of these. NKS, I'm going to leave their call signs mostly the same. I'm sorry, the numbers, but there's a few that I want to change. Let's do 8345. And instead of American, let's do, why not? Okay, I do have to be careful, otherwise I won't be able to apply the livery to it. You're a Boeing 737, so that should be okay. Let's see, is there another 738 out there? B38M. It's only American. Alright, well, let's do this right, just so I don't totally screw it up. AAL. We'll just change this 1713 and 428. Why not? Okay, so that's my arrivals. Now good to go. Let's go down and look at the departures for 1600 real quick. Oh, hey, they're going to DFW. Awesome. So let's just copy these 3, and we're going to, actually let's move you down a bit, and let's grab one from a little while ago. Just another 3 planes. We're going to do 9321. 836 and 638. Why not? All right, and now this is going to be 1600, 1602, and 1603. All right, so that's coming in very quickly. Now to get this set up correctly, let me minimize that. Let's go back here to open in Notepad. Alright, so in theory, yep, there's going to be a blank spot when it moves it over. So that's just going to be the way it is. And there's no header in there, is there? Don't believe so. There is, but I'm not going to mess with that one. Alright, so that should be fine. So I'm going to start here and just do this. Concatenate. First one's going to be U. Then comma. Comma space. Break that out. Then I broke it. E2. Wait a second. Yes, comma, then I can do my U. Now we're back on track here. Okay, so the time got botched. I don't like that. And I think I have one too many blank at the end. I should only have 3. I don't know why I've got one too many. It's probably this blank one that I don't need. Okay. In theory, that should do it. The downside is now I've got to strip the time out of this, which is going to be a bit of a headache, but alright, give me just a second. I'm going to try to strip the time out of this so that I can actually get the hours so that it comes over into the concatenate properly, and then we'll copy it into the text file and see what happens. So be with you in just a minute. Alright, so in theory that should be everything that I need now. So I'm going to copy all of that, come down to the schedule file, open it again in Notepad, copy everything out, and of course it did all of that. That's because they don't have any spaces, whereas I did input spaces. Differences in the game, so let's get all those out. I don't recall it mattering in the old version, but I want to try and make sure that this mimics the current look as much as I can. Okay, let's pull this back up. Okay, I think we got it. All right, now before I do anything, I am just going to copy this out of here real quick. Okay, that's good to go now. Now, I can close this because I don't want to save it. That'll break the text file. Now I'm going to save this, which should maintain it. Now in the prior one, I had modified the GA schedule a lot, and that's really what I was focusing on. It's the same thing as what I just did. If I could figure out how to open it, you can see it looks kind of ugly in here. There's only a couple of planes here that are heading out. So what I'm going to do is just add basically this one again, except I'm going to say Niner for you. Oh. Niner for uniform. And let's just say you're going to KMIA and you're going to come in at 1600 as well. So now that will have one extra departure. I don't know why you're not letting me save this as that. GA CSV. Oh, that's why. Derp. Let's get out of you. File, save it. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to jump into the game and we'll see if this actually works. Okay, we are in the game. Let's go ahead and do a quick play. We're going to go to TIST, and we did 4 p.m. 1600. Set it up with a runway. Okay, good, everything's selected. All right, let's have a start and see if this works. I don't know why I didn't remember having to do all that in the old one. Maybe I just blocked it because I was so annoyed at having to build the CSVs back in Notepad and do all that stuff. When I originally started editing schedules, I was doing it in Notepad and it was a nightmare. That's when I started opening them in Excel. Now maybe my version of Excel being, I think I'm on 2013. No, 2016. I'm on 2016. So my version of Excel might be older than the one that the YouTube commenter had used, and that's why it didn't quite work for me when I tried the replacement technique. That is very much a possibility. Something in the container for the CSV might be coded to Excel that's causing it not to work. I don't know. But if this does work, then you can still edit in Excel. You just have to save the file elsewhere so you can maintain a copy of your work. I kind of just deleted it because I didn't really do that much. And then you have to copy the export back in once you make it a CSV into the actual CSV file. Now maybe I could save it as a CSV elsewhere and then copy it over. I don't know. Okay, so the fog is flickering, but the clock is not going crazy. I don't have my headphones on, so I haven't heard anything. There's my first plane popping up. Let's get rid of the POV crap. I don't like that. Oh, they shifted the orientation a bit. That's cool. I don't have my earphones on, as you can tell, so there's KAP coming in. I'm not actually worried about doing anything specifically, but we can see I have a departure popped up. Who are you? Let's go back here. Okay, you're the airline. That's the button. I'm still freaked out on using the old game. Okay. So they're down there at the terminal somewhere, and I would have thought I'd have had the GA pop up as well by now because it's been a minute. I don't remember when I set it to. All right, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to speed this up, and let's see if we can get any of the others in there.
St. Thomas ground. American 836 with information Alpha. Requesting push and start.
Okay.
St. Thomas Tower, count 249 on final 28.
So it doesn't necessarily mean they're all mine, but I know that one is ExecJet because there was no plane starting this early in the system. I've got about a 1 minute separation between these planes, and there's that arrival that I put in, so that's that GA one that I added, which is great. So these are my 3 departures because it's all within about the first 5 minutes that I made the edit. So I'm going to have a couple more departures pop up, and then I'm going to have a couple more arrivals. So it worked. So essentially that's all it was. This does not mean that the person that left, and I'm sorry I forgot your name right now, it's been 2 weeks, that commenter's idea was wrong. it did lead me to what the fix was, and it could be that they're just using a newer version of Excel or O365 that I just don't have. The last version that I got at a discount from work is 2016, so that's what I'm using right now. I don't think I upgraded to 2019, but essentially that's all it is. So you can still edit the files exactly as I showed prior, but if you are using an older Excel or you are using a newer Excel and you are having the same issue that I had with the time jumping, go ahead and concatenate it down into an actual comma-separated value list, copy that into the notepad and save that. And that way it'll work better. You can save your Excel file separately so that you can modify it and play with it. Of course, rename it to something so that you don't overwrite it. And then you can use the notepad to actually save the file properly, copying over your stuff. Leave the headers at the top. You might be able to remove them. I honestly don't think it matters. In the old version of the game, I believe we kind of had to make our own headers. I don't remember. But it works. You can make and edit your own schedules, so hopefully that helps you guys go have some more fun with the game. I've been on about a 2.5 week hiatus from the game outside of the last quick test on this just due to work. So I know that OMDB came out. I still stand by my statement. Don't spend any extra money on the game at this point. But they did release a free one, which is another Caribbean island, I believe. So I look forward to playing some of those other airports now, and then we'll see about having some fun with the schedules at that point. I did go back and restore my colors to default. I started playing with it, but it was so time consuming to find something I liked because it looked good on Eli Grimm's editor site. I'm like, oh, this will be great. And then I pull it into the game and I'm like, this is terrible. So I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do with that. But for now, the game functions, schedules work. Hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.